Welcome back to Conquering College. I'm your host, Jeff Anderson. In this video, we're going to help you avoid common scheduling traps. In video 4, we set your weekly schedule. In video 5, we calculated how many hours per week you are going to spend physically in meetings. In video 6, we budgeted study hours. Now it's time to use all of that information and make a decision about whether or not your current schedule is going to support your academic goals. To begin this process, we're going to look back at the schedule we set in video 4 and our analysis from 5 and 6. Using that information, we're going to fill out this table. This is available in the worksheet below. We're going to transfer the information that we had from videos 5 and 6 into this table. So the total number of hours for required weekly meeting times, this is the total that you came up with video 5. So you just transfer that right in here. Your total budgeted out-of-class study hours per week, that's the total that you came up with in video 6. You're going to transfer it. And then to get the total number of active working hours per week, you just add these two numbers together. So this is the total amount of time that you're going to expect to spend actively working per week. So let's take a look at an example of how we might do this. Here we go. We're starting with our worksheet, and we're going to go ahead and transfer the information from videos 5 and 6 right into this. We'll open the document that we created in video 5. This was the example that I did. In this case, I was taking 15 units, 15 hours, working 8 hours a week, and then I had one club that was 3 hours per week. The total number of hours, 15 plus 8 plus 3 is 26. I go ahead and put that number right there. To get the total budgeted out-of-class study hours per week, that was the total that I calculated in video 6. We go ahead and open that worksheet. We take a look at this number, which was just the number of hours that I'm going to expect to spend for each one. In this case, it was 42.5. And then I just add 26 to 42.5, which is 68.5 hours per week. So this is the number of hours that I'm expecting to work per week on either my personal stuff, employment, clubs and all that, or studying for class, right? Okay, now that we've done this, let's go ahead and take a look at what we can do with this information. So, first thing to do after we've got this number is beware of scheduling traps. I like to call a scheduling trap making a miscalculation when creating your class schedule that leads to a lot of difficulty during the term. A lot of times, if you don't think about being aware of scheduling traps, you make this course schedule, you're super ambitious, and then all of a sudden, 3 weeks into the term, oh my God, you're up a creek without a paddle. We want to help you avoid that by creating consciousness. So a few of the common scheduling traps that I made when I was a student and many young students make, one example is creating too ambitious of a schedule, signing up for way too much to do and then ended up not being able to do it. Another one is overestimating our level of preparation, thinking, oh my God, I'm so good at this stuff, I'm going to be able to succeed. And then lo and behold, we weren't as ready as we thought we were. There were big gaps in our previous knowledge. Yet a third one is underestimating the time it takes to succeed in classes, thinking, oh, I only need to spend 1 hour a day, and then realizing, oh my God, I should have spent like 4 or 5 hours a day. And then the last one is underestimating the difficulty level of a class. This often happens where you get into the class, the first week is really easy, and you say, oh, I'm going to blow through this, I can handle it. 3 weeks into the class, the exam starts happening, and you're thinking, oh my God, this is really hard. So these are common scheduling traps. We're going to go through the process of making you aware of them now, helping you make a decision to avoid these. Okay, so first thing that we want to do is diagnose your workload. So take a look at the workload that you signed up for this quarter and decide whether or not that's for you. To help you do this, we're going to fill out this table of leading questions, and this helps you identify symptoms of different scheduling traps. So you'll notice that there are 9 questions, and they're kind of grouped by 2s, except for the last 3. Those are grouped together. One of them has to do with the total number of work hours that you're working per week, and that's associated with the number of units that you're taking. Some of them have to do with your level of preparation, especially from high school versus college. Those are very, very different worlds. Another set of 2 have to do with STEM classes, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Those are very special classes, and you want to be extra careful when scheduling those. And then the last ones have to do with how much work you're doing at a part-time or full-time job. Being a student takes a lot of energy, and if you're doing part-time work on the side or full-time work, you want to be really careful. We'll get into the analysis of both of those, but for now, it's enough read through this and actually use the schedule that you've created to address these questions, either yes or no. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example of how we might do this. So I've read these questions. I take a look at the numbers that I created in table 7.1 above, and then I also open my weekly schedule to help me answer these questions. So here's my weekly schedule, and then I look back on table 7.1. Let's go ahead and just do a split screen in Microsoft Office. So here on the bottom, I'm going to focus in on table 7.1. There's the numbers that I had, and then I'm just going to answer. Here, I'm working more than 55 hours per week, so I go ahead and answer yes, I'm working more than 55 hours. Enrolled in 15 units, no. I just go ahead and I'm only in one STEM class, I think that I'm ready, blah, blah, blah. I fill these all out, right? So you're going to go ahead and do that for your own schedule, and then we're going to talk about using the analysis. So here I finished the thing. Let's go ahead and analyze that. Okay. So after we filled out that schedule, you're going to ask yourself some questions. I'm going to encourage you to do this. Did you answer yes to either question 1 or 2 in the table? If not, wonderful. You're probably in a good situation in that case. However, if you did answer yes, I encourage you now to watch video 7A. This is something that I like to call the all work and no play trap. It's one of the scheduling traps that we get into. It has a lot of information about being overcommitted. It will also help you kind of address those issues. As you're watching that video and doing the exercise, be prepared to rearrange your weekly activities. You're going to have to make some changes. My claim is if you answered yes to either question 1 or 2, you should think really, really carefully about whether or not this schedule is designed to help you succeed. Okay, let's go on to the next one. The next one has to do with something called the high school comparison trap, and that's what happens when we get into the habit, even if it's subconscious, of comparing what we did in high school to what we're doing in college. So did you answer yes to either questions 3 or 4? If you didn't, wonderful, you're probably in the process of thinking like a college student. If you did answer yes to questions 3 or 4, then watch video 7B in this series, which is called the high school comparison trap, another one of those scheduling traps, and be prepared to spend a little bit more time than you think to achieve your academic goals. All right, let's go on to the next 2 questions, which it really has to do with too many STEM classes. STEM classes take a lot of energy. In my experience, I could get A's in no more than 2 STEM classes a quarter, unless I had a very, very compelling reason to believe that I could do 3. Seldom that I did that in undergraduate. In graduate school, I could do it, but really hard. If you answered yes to either question 6 or 7, we're going to have you watch video 7C, which is the too many STEM classes trap, and then be ready to rearrange your course schedule. Be ready to change some of the things that are going on for you this quarter, as well as your overall look. Finally, we're going to talk about the last one, which is the work comparison trap, when you compare your workload with your academic load. So if you answered yes to either the questions 7, 8, or 9, we're going to go ahead and have you watch video 7D, which is called the work comparison trap, and then be prepared to reprioritize your work and your academic load, right? So the major idea of this is to spend some time up front thinking about your weekly schedule, really getting into the nitty-gritty to determine, is the schedule that you set up going to help you succeed in academics? If you answered yes and you're going to watch these videos, the real power behind these videos is the intervention exercises designed in those. Make sure to actually finish all those worksheets and address those issues. Even if you don't change anything, some of the issues brought up in those worksheets, if you can think through those and really plan to address those issues when the quarter comes or the semester comes, you'll be putting yourself in an advantage. All right, whole point of this entire exercise to avoid scheduling traps is to make sure that the schedule that you've created supports the academic goals that you've set. In the next video, we're going to take a look at getting ready for classes by buying textbooks. However, if you answered yes, you're going to go on to the scheduling trap videos, and in those videos, we're going to talk about each one of those scheduling traps in details. I'll see you in the next videos.